Hey, Life Groupers, Pastor James here, and on Sunday, God just did it again. You know, God is moving in a very tangible way, and it's really interesting to me to think about this idea that God had drawn me to preach a message series on the presence. And if we go back to the very first service of presence, God like blew up the place. He interrupted. He goes, "Oh, they want to be in my presence. They want to talk about me. I want to be there." And man, I just feel the Spirit of God on me right now. Even just this idea that He so wants to be with us. And then every single Sunday, it's been the same thing. Maybe not as massive as that first one, but then this Sunday, God just broke out one more time. He goes, "Yo, you're talking about me again. You're talking about just spending time." And, you know, I think that is one of the things as Christians that sometimes we can wrestle with and forget. In fact, on Sunday, someone asked me a great question. You know who you are. You're part of the life group. But asked about, "Man, Pastor, I just feel like the presence of God is here and it's awesome. But how do I keep going on? How do I continue on in this? How do I not lose it?" Because I know mature Christians, and it's been a while, they kind of get into a rut. And, you know, I think one of the greatest answers to that is this feeling I've got right now is holding on to that and remembering that God wants to be with me and holding on to that. And that's what I want you to talk about today, is what does the presence of God look like in your life? And I could tell you stories in my life of what God has been doing, just even at Dunkin' Donuts, and just some of the awesome things. There's a lady, she didn't know me very well. I don't even know she knew I was a pastor. And she goes, "Hey, I can't share what's going on in my life, but would you start praying for me?" And then yesterday I'm driving through the drive-thru, and she hears my voice, knows my coffee order, and she couldn't wait for me to get to the front because she goes, "Your prayers worked. They worked." And you know, I thought about that, and you know why? Is because it's the presence of God, right? It's not about James, Pastor James, you know, Bishop James Shulker, right? It's about the fact that I'm just in the presence of God, and I'm seeking, and I love the presence, and I'm there. And that's what I want you to talk about. What does the presence of God look like? How has it been looking in your life? Has it only been a Sunday thing, or is it carrying on through the week? And how long? And what are some of the things that you are doing to continually focus on the presence of God and continually get into it? Because what I'm praying after this whole service is done, after the sermon series is done, is that it's not just, "Hey, we preached that one, we've got through the presence series, let's go on to our next one." But we get into the point that we truly believe with all of our hearts that God wants to be with us, that He wants to be in our presence. And our number one goal is to be in the presence of God, and that we can be every moment. And it's in the presence of God that we find fulfillment. It's the presence of God when you and I become everything that we were created to be, everything that God had created us to be, and we can do things, we can see miracles happen. And man, some of the stories from the church, some of the stories, I don't know, we probably haven't heard them all. And as I hear some of these things that God is doing, it's just blowing my mind. But it's because we're diving in, and God is searching. So He looks for those that He may inhabit, looks for those that might be with Him, that they want to spend time with Him. So that's what I want you to do today during life groups, tonight, night or day, whenever you're doing your life groups. I want you to go, what does the presence of God look like in my life? How am I continually to dive into His presence? What is my week looking like? And where's my weak points? Where are the things that are veiling me, keeping me away from the presence of God? What does that look like? And let's be a little honest with one another and talk about the presence in a very, very tangible way. What does the presence of God really, really look like in my life? And have I really experienced Him outside of church? that's what I want you to talk about on Sunday. We're going to talk about the presence of service, and I believe God's going to speak some volumes into us. And I'm excited. That's Thanksgiving meals. Don't forget that. We're going to have a great service, and we're going to go. We're going to eat some awesome food, and I get to be in community with you guys as we get to be in community with God. And there's no better place to be. So I love you. Have a great life.